Frank Wellner News June 5, 2009. An egregious Zionist assault on academic freedom at Santa Barbara. By Hector Carrion. La Voz de Aztlán. Los Angeles, Alta California, May 27, 2009, ACN, the ADL of B'nai B'rith, an arm of the Israeli Mossad in the USA, is again attempting to silence respected scholars at American universities who dare to criticize Israel's genocidal policies against the Palestinian people. The ADL is today targeting Professor William I. Robinson of the University of California at Santa Barbara, because he was teaching his students a lesson by making comparisons between the Nazis' treatment of Jews and the Zionists' treatment of Palestinians. The ADL and other powerful Zionist organizations have now brought formal charges against the professor, utilizing the old canard of antisemitism, and recommending that the Chancellor and the CSB Academic Senate punish him. Professor Robinson teaches global and international studies as well as Latin American and Iberian studies at the university. The assault on Professor Robinson is almost identical to the one against Professor Tony Martin of Wellesley College in 1993. Professor Martin, retired, taught American Studies, and was a recognized scholar in Black history. Professor Martin also had to face formal charges after 3 Jewish student members of Hillel of B'nai B'rith and the ADL accused him of antisemitism because he lectured on the well-established history of Jewish involvement in the African slave trade. The attack on Professor Martin also involves a conspiracy between the ADL, Hillel, certain Jewish academicians and outside international Zionist organizations. The students in Hillel function as watchdogs and spies on campuses throughout the USA for the international Zionist movement of B'nai B'rith. The official motto of Hillel is, maximizing the number of Jews doing Jewish with other Jews. Professor William I. Robinson needs the support of all freedom-loving people. The principle of academic freedom is essential in the universal struggle for human justice. In its absence, genocidal regimes will continue perpetrating their war crimes. Professor William I. Robinson eloquently presented the egregious Zionist assault on academic freedom in a speech at a recent conference in Garden Grove, California. The following 3-part video documents his speech at the 7th Annual International Al-Aqsa Convention. In other news, Who Will Stand Up to the Zionist Masters of America and Israel? By Paul Craig Roberts. Obama calls on world to stand up to North Korea. Read the headline. The United States, Obama said, was determined to protect the peace and security of the world. Shades of doublespeak, doublethink. 1984. North Korea is a small place. China alone could snuff it out in a few minutes, yet the president of the U.S. thinks that nothing less than the entire world is a match for North Korea. We are witnessing the Washington gangsters construct yet another threat like Slobodan Milosevic, Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, John Walker Lind, Yasser Hamdi, Jose Padilla, Sami al-Arian, Hamas, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and the Palestinians demonized by former Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld as the 700 most dangerous terrorists on the face of the earth, who were tortured for 6 years at Gitmo only to be quietly released. Just another mistake. Sorry. The military/security complex that rules America, together with the Israel lobby and the banksters, needs a long list of dangerous enemies to keep the tax budget flowing into its coffers. The Homeland Security lobby is dependent on endless threats to convince Americans that they must forego civil liberty in order to be safe and secure. The real question, who is going to stand up to the American and Israeli governments? Who is going to protect Americans and Israelis' civil liberties, especially those of Israeli dissenters and Israel's Arab citizens? Who is going to protect Palestinians, Iraqis, Afghans, Lebanese, Iranians, and Syrians from Americans and Israelis? Not Obama, and not the right-wing brown shirts who today rule Israel. Obama's notion that it takes the entire world to stand up to North Korea is mind-boggling. But this mind-boggling idea pales in comparison to Obama's guarantee that America will protect the peace and security of the world. Is this the same America that bombed Serbia, including Chinese diplomatic offices and civilian passenger trains, and pried Kosovo loose from Serbia and Java to a gang of Muslim drug lords, lending them NATO troops to protect their operation? Is this the same America that is responsible for approximately 1 million dead Iraqis, leaving orphans and widows everywhere, and making refugees out of 1/5 of the Iraqi population. Is this the same America that blocked the rest of the world from condemning Israel for its murderous attack on Lebanese civilians in 2006, and on Gazans most recently, the same America that has covered up for Israel's theft of Palestine over the past 60 years? A theft that has produced 4 million Palestinian refugees driven by Israeli violence and terror from their homes and villages. Is this the same America that is conducting military exercises in former constituent parts of Russia and ringing Russia with missile bases? Is this the same America that has bombed Afghanistan into rubble with massive civilian casualties? Is this the same America that has started a horrific new war in Pakistan, a war that in its first few days has produced 1 million refugees, the peace and security of the world? Whose world? On his return from his consultation with Obama in Washington, the brown-shirted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that it was Israel's responsibility to eliminate the nuclear threat from Iran. What nuclear threat? The U.S. intelligence agencies are unanimous in their conclusion that Iran has had no nuclear weapons program since 2003. The inspectors of the International Atomic Energy Agency report that there is not a nuclear weapons program in Iran.